Hey guys, welcome back to the Prehistoric Life Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Crawford, and today we're going to dive in with another dinosaur of the day, this one being the Guanlong Wotasai. There's our bad boy of the day, the crested dinosaur. A little on the nose there. So let's go ahead and dive in to this. Guanlong was a small early tyrannosaurid dinosaur that lived in the late Jurassic period in what is now China. It was much larger and more agile than later tyrannosaurs like T-Rex. Guanlong had a distinct sickle-shaped crest on its head, possibly used for display or communication, and its body was built for speed with long legs and a slender frame. As one of the earliest known tyrannosaurs, it provided valuable insight into the evolutionary development of this family, showing a transition from smaller, agile predators to the large, powerful forms that dominated the Cretaceous. Guanlong also helps paleontologists understand the diversity of theropods during the Jurassic period and their role in ancient ecosystems. And there is a very good depiction by Gabriel in you. So as I said, a quick description of this thing is it's bipedal, it's carnivorous, it's a theropod, it's a proceratosaurid and a tyrannosaurid. It's got its sickle-shaped crest and long arms with long functional claws, large back legs, and yeah. So Guanlong here is from Dinosaur or Prehistoric Wildlife. They are back up, kind of. Their website's a little janky, but I'm still going to use it because it is a good source. Its height is coming in at a solid 2.5 feet with a length of 10 feet, or like 3/4 of a meter and 3 meters. Coming in at a weight of 100 to 200 pounds. Its diet, there's a lot that goes into its diet. So dead animals, it probably scavenged turtles, early mammals, lizards. Yinlong was a probable primary predator-prey relationship with this bad boy. Its fossils were found in Wuchuan Zhonggar Basin or Zhangjing in China, or the Shishungo Formation. I do apologize if I have horribly butchered that. I'm not really good with Chinese names to English, but this would be an awesome time to actually bring up some amazing thing. Like, it would be so cool to go see this thing in real life and go visit it. But actually, with today's sponsor, huge shout out to today's sponsor, Dinosaur Trips. If you enjoy these majestic creatures I talk about here on the podcast and would like to go see them for yourself, I would heavily recommend Dinosaur Trips. Dinosaur Trips is a company created to give people a behind-the-scenes in-look on museums and dig sites, along with just having an amazing time looking at these amazing, fabulous, majestic creatures. So if you sound interested, go to www.dinosaurtrips.com and tell them Prehistoric Life sent you and get $250 off your tickets. Now, back to the show. So we're going to continue on. Like I said, it did exist in the very late Jurassic, 163.5 to 157.3 million years ago, or the Oxfordian or late Jurassic. It was discovered by Zhu Xing. I really hope I'm pronouncing that right, considering that this guy's still alive. Whose birthday is July 1969. I could not find an exact day. He is still living. He's around 55-ish, if I'm not mistaken, if I did my math right there. Going on 56 next year at the time of filming this. He is a vertebrate paleontologist. He graduated from the Department of Geology in Peking University. And he is currently working at the Institute of Vertebrate Paleontology and Paleoanthropology of the Chinese Academy of Science in Beijing. So if you're in Beijing and want to go see this guy work, go check him out, I guess. I don't really know how things work over there, so. And he described Guanlong in the year I was born, actually, in 2006. Its fossil representation, it's got two primary specimens, one almost complete, partially articulated adult, and one almost complete, fully articulated juvenile. And one thing interesting, the fossils of the two Guanlong were discovered by TU in 2002 in the Shushingo Formation at Wakawayan, Jungar Basin, Zhejiang, in northwest China, and have been dated to 163 to 158 million years old, late Jurassic. They were then described in 2006 by Zhu Xing and Dr. James M. Clark of George Washington University. The holotype, the specimen used to describe this species, consists of a reasonably complete and partially articulated adult skeleton, and two specimens the second specimen, the two specimens, is a fully articulated, nearly complete skeleton, though much smaller than the holotype. The two known specimens died in the same way and in the same place. They fell into a muddy footprint of a massive herbivore, probably the sauropod Mamenchisaurus, and were trapped. The 6-year-old died first and was probably trampled by the adult, who arrived later. Both skeletons were almost complete. The original skeleton is held in the Institute of Vertebrate Paleontology and Paleoanthropology in China. The Australian Museum has a life-size reconstruction of the adult. So these things actually fell into a Mamenchisaurus footprint, which tells you the sheer size of a Mamenchisaurus. But also that these guys aren't necessarily that big. Most likely. But looking at their genetic breakdown, I say genetic, they're where they fall in the family tree. They are early tyrannosaurids. If we zoom in a little bit more, you can see them in the proceratosaurids as we go in. There they are. And here is their genetic breakdown. And here's an awesome picture made by DJ King, or Geoducks, or Geoscience, Flash Geoscience. Its domain is Eukaryota, kingdom, Animalia, phylum, Carodata, clade Dinosauria, clade Sarasuchia, of course. It's a theropod, and it's a Proceratosauria. The genus Guanlong in Waiokaya. I hope I pronounced that right. But yeah, I mean, look at this fella. It's a bit of a nasty bite. The taxon history, there's a lot that goes into that, but not as much as Pivotiosaurus the last time I did one of these. In the recent study, Guanlong has found to be in a clade with both Proceratosaurus and Chelosuchus. Together, they form the family Proceratosauria, with a clade containing Sinotyrannus, Yarotyrannus, and Stochosaurus. However, in 2014, another study was published instead finding Stochosaurus and Yarotyrant outside the family, which only included Guanlong, Proceratosaurus, and Chelosuchus, and Sinotyrannus. So it is now, again, only in a low family with just a few. Its habitat was actually Guanlong hunted in a forest environment predominantly made up of conifers and a variety of ferns, including giant forms. The climate was seasonal with warm and humid summers and dry winters. So again, having that classic Jurassic heat where it never really got cold per se. But yeah. And predators, all I could find was the Yangchow-nosaurus, was a allosaurid that was probably the predominant predator of Guanlong, if anything. Not considering like scavengers and things like that, but this thing was probably, if anything, the primary hunter of it. And its paleontological significance, Guanlong is paleontologically significant because it represents one of the earliest known members of the Tyrannosaurid family, offering critical insights into the early evolution of Tyrannosaurus. Lived during the late Jurassic. Guanlong was much smaller and more agile than the late Tyrannosaurus. Like Tyrannosaurus rex, with a distinctive cranial crest and long limbs, indicating a fast and agile lifestyle. Its discovery helped fill gaps in the evolutionary history of Tyrannosaurus, shedding light on their transition from small, fast predators into the massive apex hunters of the Cretaceous. Additionally, Guanlong provides valuable information about diversity of theropod dinosaurs during the late Jurassic period, or just the Jurassic period overall. And if you want to see more content from me, because that is all for today, go check out my Instagram, Prehistoric Life Podcast, Prehistoric_Life_podcast. If you want to see my content 2-ish days in advance, go check out my YouTube channel, Prehistoric Life Podcast. And if you want all of that content in one place, check out my website, prehistoriclifepodcast.com. From there, you can check out my YouTube and my Instagram. And that is all from me for today. I am your host, Eric Crawford, signing off. This has been Prehistoric Life Podcast, and I'll see you all next time. And remember, keep it prehistoric. Goodbye.